All right, everybody, if you are here for the High Hanging Fruit webinar, you are in the right place. We're going to take just a couple seconds here and let we'll let some other people join us here. In about 30 seconds, we're just going to jump right in. And so, I guess I'll start just by introducing myself. So I'm Mitch Broderick. I'm the one that you've been hearing from. You've been getting my emails. You've been getting my text messages, just bombarding you for the last couple of days here. And so just a little bit about myself. I actually used to sell real estate full-time. I've been licensed for 6 years, and for 3 of those years at the beginning, I sold real estate full-time. Really haven't done much of anything with it with my license since then, as I got kind of a golden opportunity in marketing, like a dream job offer. And so I went and executed on that. And ultimately, that brought me around to joining the platform team whenever I got hooked up with Tim Shermack, who is going to be conducting the webinar here today. And so as a realtor, I totally understand all of the different marketing mechanisms and strategies that people use. And I have a unique experience with that. And that said, with this high-hanging fruit strategy that we're going to discuss today, and everybody's going to be able to get a free copy of the book here. Once we get started with the webinar, we'll tell you exactly how to do that. But this high-hanging fruit methodology as a marketing strategy for realtors is by far the most appropriate, the best marketing strategy that I've come across for anybody who wants to be a repeatedly top producing agent in their market. And so I want to just take a minute here and introduce Tim Shermack, who's going to actually conduct the webinar. And I'll actually be on the webinar the whole time. I'll be answering your comments in the live chat if you have some comments, or answering emails or text messages that you guys send throughout. But Tim Shermack is the author of High Hanging Fruit, and he's the founder of Platform, which is our marketing agency, and I'll let Tim kind of discuss that. But the high-hanging fruit methodology in this book is, again, the best marketing strategy that I've come across for people who are very serious about their real estate businesses and want to take it to the next level. We've worked with dozens of agents who were high-producing agents when they started with us and helped them add millions in volume to their business. And we've worked with people who were brand new agents when they started with the platform system. Literally, they were agents for all of a month, and they started with the platform system, and they skyrocketed to having multi-million-dollar volume businesses in their first year, just having amazing first years. And that's all because of this high-hanging fruit strategy, where we kind of put people or generate leads for people and build relationships with people further out in the sales funnel and nurture those relationships long-term. And so Tim is the author of High Hanging Fruit. Tim Shermack is going to be conducting the webinar, and I'm going to be here in the background. And so we're going to go ahead and welcome Tim, and we're going to hop right in.
All right, awesome.
Conducting the webinar.
Awesome. Thanks, Mitch. So again, I just want to reiterate, everyone who's on this webinar this evening is going to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. It's not like a 20-page book or a brochure. It's a legit 200-page book that I wrote that details all of our lead generation and marketing strategies specifically for realtors. So everyone who's joining us this evening is going to get a free copy of that book. I also just want to let everyone know that this is a live webinar. This is not one of those webinars where, it looks like it's live, but it's actually recorded. Let me grab my iPhone here just to confirm. It is Tuesday, December 5th, 2017. What's going on in the news right now is a bunch of hoopla in Congress about the new tax plan that the GOP is bouncing back and forth between the House and the Senate. The Houston Astros won the World Series this year. I don't know what else to tell you to prove that it is live. So it is a live webinar. It's not recorded. I just want to make that clear to everyone that you're not watching or recording. This is totally live. So if you ask questions in the chat, Mitch will be answering your questions live. So without further ado, guys, we're going to hop in. Again, my name is Tim Shermack. I'm the founder, CEO of Platform. And what we're going to be talking about on tonight's webinar is how to use our high-hanging fruit strategy to generate more leads in your business. We're going to show you case study after case study and actually example after example of realtors who are generating 200 plus leads a month using this strategy. And so it's not something that'll get you 5 or extra, 10 leads a month. We are literally talking something that can get you 200 plus leads every single month. And the end result of that is that it doubles your business. I mean, it's really not that hard to extrapolate that if you could generate 200 leads every single month, that you could double your business. Some of the realtors will show you, like some of the strategies they're using, they've even actually tripled their business. So I'm going to hop into screen share. I'm going to show you these specific Facebook ads that we're using, and we'll dive into what makes this high hanging fruit idea so powerful. So give me 1 second. I'll hop into screen share and we'll rock and roll. All right, hopefully everyone can see my screen here. As I dive into this PowerPoint here, the very first slide that you see is actually a text message that we got from an agent that hired us, that was working with us. He's talking about all the deals he picked up, all the leads from it. That's all great. But what I want you to focus on is at the very end, he said, my pipeline is full. That's what this is all about. High hanging fruit is about building a pipeline of future leads. So it's not about cold calling. It's not about trying to, get expired listings or trying to get FSBOs. It's about building a future pipeline of sellers that'll list with you in the future, maybe 90 days out, right? Or it's about getting buyers that are ready to go in the future, 3 months out, 4 months out, maybe even 5 months out, etc. So everything we do in the context of this high hanging fruit strategy is about building the future pipeline, because most agents don't have the patience, they don't have the vision to actually build out a pipeline. And so they just scrape by and they try to survive month after month, not really knowing where their next deal is going to come from, not knowing where the next commission check is going to come from, because they're always chasing, those low hanging fruit, those leads that feel like they're ready to go right now. The reality is, if you want to build a reliable business, you have to be focusing on generating leads that are ready to go in 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, maybe even 6 months from now, because 6 months from now, that lead is ready to go today. So if you're always focusing on building a pipeline, you'll never have to worry about where your next deal is going to come from. So again, what I want you to focus on this text message is what he said at the very end: my pipeline is full. That's what high hanging fruit is all about. So let me explain to you what specifically I mean when I say high hanging fruit, because I know that's kind of like a contrarian phrase. Like usually we're used to hearing the phrase low hanging fruit, right? Well, high hanging fruit obviously is the opposite of that. So most agents, when they think about creating a marketing plan or creating, maybe their goals for 2018, right? Because it's that time of year right now where lots of agents are busy mapping out what they want to accomplish next year in 2018. They're making their goals, whether it's their sales volume goals, their GCI goals, all that stuff, right? And to create the leads and make the phone calls and the touches necessary to hit your goals, most agents think in the context of what I call low-hanging fruit. So they're thinking about, how can I, sign up for Vulcan or sign up for the Red X, right? And get the latest expired listing data so I can call the homeowners the day that their listing expires, right? Or I can start calling the for sale by owners in my area. That's what I call low-hanging fruit. Or, if you're buying leads, from a website like Realtor.com or from Zillow, that's low-hanging fruit. It's people that are at that point in their home search where they're actually requesting to go see a home. That's low-hanging fruit. So low-hanging fruit are leads that are, ready to go in the next month. They're ready to list their house in a couple weeks, or they're ready to start house hunting right now, right? They're basically ready to go sooner than later. That's low-hanging fruit. 99% of agents are fighting over the low-hanging fruit. So what you need to know is that that's where all the competition is. And so it makes sense that, you don't want to compete against all the competition. You want to go where there's the least competition, because that's where you get more bang for your buck. So high-hanging fruit is about intentionally creating a marketing strategy that appeals to people that are higher up in the sales cycle. So high-hanging fruit is about intentionally creating a marketing strategy that appeals to people that are maybe 3 months out or 4 months out or 5 months out. We're intentionally creating lead generation campaigns that get people to click and that get people to opt in when they're kind of in that just doing research phase, right? Because if they're still far out and they're, you know, in that just doing research phase, you know, they're 3 months out, 4 months out, 5 months out. So right now, right, it's early December. If we're launching lead generation campaigns right now, more than likely the leads that are opting in are not going to be ready to actually buy until probably February, maybe even March, right? And so we're building that future pipeline though right now in December, so that when February and March rolls around, we actually have deals that are closing, rather than what most agents do. They basically just survive all of the winter in January, February, March, and they're really just crossing their fingers hoping that spring, summer comes along, because they don't have anything set up for the winter. So again, this is pretty contrarian. This is the opposite of what most agents do. High-hanging fruit is about intentionally creating marketing campaigns that attract people that are pretty far out. They're kind of just doing research, right? Because what we know is if we can get them early in the sales cycle, you know, 3 or 4, even 5 months before they're actually serious, before they're actually ready, you know, to get started to buy or sell. If we can get them in our funnel 3 or 4 or 5 months before that, a cool thing happens. You build their loyalty over those couple months, and they don't interview other agents. Like, there's no point where they're going to start talking to other agents, you know, at the point where they would normally hop on Zillow and start researching. They don't do that because they already view you as their realtor, because you have been just casually communicating with them over the last couple months. And so again, rather than having to compete with other agents, if you generate the leads that early in the sales cycle, your lead conversion numbers are much, much higher. I mean, you're not having to use these awkward salesy phone scripts, because like you just build casual relationships with people just like they're friends. You know, if they're 4 or 5 months out, you're not fooling anyone. Like, you don't have to be super salesy. You don't have to be pushy. You can just help them out, you know, like send them a link of homes that's in the area they're looking for, and then just check in every couple weeks and ask them how it's going, ask them how you can help. So you just, like, you can be more casual in how you follow up with the leads and high-hanging fruit. And the cool thing is, because of that, you're actually going to convert more leads. So by being less salesy, you'll convert more leads. And so I love this strategy. It'll grow your business, and it'll make you enjoy your real estate career as a realtor a lot more. So high-hanging fruit isn't really a tactic. It's not really even even a strategy, honestly. It's a philosophy. It's a different way of thinking about marketing. So what this whole thing is about is, it's not like a specific Facebook ad we run. You know, it's not a tactic, right? It's way bigger picture than that. It's a new way of thinking about marketing. And so once you start thinking about marketing this way, just everything changes. You'll start viewing your pipeline. You'll start viewing your business. You'll start viewing where you're spending money on ads. I mean, you'll start viewing everything differently once you really get what this high-hanging fruit idea is all about. It's really honestly the opposite of what everyone else does. So I'm going to show you this quick video. This is someone who just sent us this literally a week ago. So this video is not 2 years old. It's not a year old. It's not 6 months old. It's not even 6 weeks old. This is like a case study video of someone who watched this exact webinar that you're on just like a month ago. They sent us this video on November 30th. So literally 1 week ago, this lady, this is Michelle, sent me this video. And so I wanted to show you this right away. This strategy is working right now, even during the holiday season. Even during the holiday season, she's generating high-hanging fruit leads, getting buyers and seller leads coming to talk to her. So here's just the latest example. Again, this was sent to me in the last week. Here's just the latest example that this high-hanging fruit marketing idea is working, even during the busy, crazy holiday season.
Hi, this is Michelle Jones from Tennessee. I joined the platform webinar. I signed up, and my results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran with platform, I got both under contract in the same day. I also have 5 active buyers that I'm currently working with now, and I also have obtained 3 new listings.
Awesome. So buyers and listings. Again, so this is happening during like the Thanksgiving, Christmas, holiday season. That's a fresh testimonial that was just sent to us within the last week. And so here's what we're going to be diving into. We're going to spend the majority of the time talking about why most internet marketing that realtors do doesn't work. And that includes everything from conversion to Commissions Inc. to Boomtown to Realtor.com to Zillow. the fundamental reason why most of that doesn't really work anymore. It maybe worked 2 or 3 years ago, but if you're using any of the companies I just mentioned, you'll notice that your cost per lead has gone way up. So you're spending more money and getting less leads than you were even just a year or two ago. So we're gonna spend a lot of time talking about that, and then we will try to present rather a solution about a new way you can think about lead generation. That's what this high hanging fruit system is all about. So we'll actually show you the exact specific Facebook ads that we're using. So this is not going to be one of those bullshit webinars where all we talk about is theory and then we don't actually give specifics. We're going to give you these specific Facebook ads to run that make this work, okay? And then the entire time, we're going to be showing you video examples of people that are actually using this strategy so that you know it is real.
Hey, everybody.
So this is just another 20-second video of Jonathan Garrick talking about the book. So again, everyone who joins us on the webinar tonight is going to get a free copy of this book. As you can see, he's holding it there. It's not like a 20-page book. It's a legit 200-page book. And what Jonathan talks about in this short video is that, you know, when he was making his goals, right, he had read The One Thing by Gary Keller. He had read like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, right? I swear to God, every realtor has read that book. It's like the realtor Bible, right? Like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller. And Jonathan had read those books, but as he was making his business plan, those books are more about goal setting and kind of really big picture, visionary thinking. For him, high hanging fruit was the missing link. So high hanging fruit, this strategy was the missing link that allowed him to actually take action on these big visionary goals he set and generate the amount of leads that would be necessary to actually hit his goals.
It's Jonathan Garrick, real estate agent in Southwest Florida with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here today to talk to you about the book High Hanging Fruit and the Platform System. And if you've ever read any of the books by Gary Keller, The One Thing, or The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, they give you the real big picture thinking on how to come up with a business plan and to grow your real estate business. This is the rocket fuel to that system to actually how to market your business and yourself effectively. So definitely, if you're interested in this book, pick up a copy and also contact Platform. It was one of the best business decisions I've ever made.
Awesome. So again, everyone who's on this webinar this evening is going to get a totally free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. So no strings attached. You know, you don't have to pay for shipping and there's no catch. We'll just give you a completely free copy of the book. And so I want to show you this one last video as we dive in here. This is just, I mean, it's literally a 20-second video, but here's someone, I said that we'd show you a bunch of case studies of people that have doubled and tripled their business. This is someone who's actually over quadrupled their GCI. So this is Jose. He's in Colorado Springs. And as we dive into this and I show you some of the like specific Facebook ad examples, just realize that I'm not talking about theory. This is not something in theory I hope will work or that I think will work. This is the exact Facebook ad system that took Jose's business from about 25 transactions a year to 100 transactions a year. So he literally has quadrupled his business using this high hanging fruit philosophy. So if you're skeptical, just watch this video because the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie.
Hey guys, if you're still skeptical about high hanging fruit, let's just break down the numbers real quick. In 2013, I did 25 deals. I then implemented high hanging fruit platform so that you know, in 2014, I went from 25 to 50 deals. In 2015, I went from 50 deals to 70 deals, baby. And now in 2016, I'm making over 100 transactions so that you know. And now that I have my team in place in 2016, just imagine what I'm going to do in 2017. Make it a phenomenal day.
So again, he quadrupled his business. This is not a marketing system or a marketing strategy where it might add a couple deals a year. This is something that's powerful enough to double, triple, or in Jose's case, quadruple your GCI. So just super quickly about me. My name's Tim Chermak. As Mitch said, I'm the author of High Hanging Fruit, but actually the first book that I wrote was called Main Street Marketing. This is a book I wrote for just any small business owner, like a brick and mortar local small business owner. So whether you owned a car dealership, maybe you owned a restaurant, a coffee shop, maybe you were a florist, like whatever. I wrote this book for any brick and mortar local small business owner. But what happened is a lot of realtors read the book and they started applying some of the ideas for how to generate local leads. And so these realtors emailed me, and the crazy thing happened is there was people that were, again, like doubling their business, just applying some of the ideas. So what ended up is they hired me as a consultant so they could further refine it. I took a couple of them on as like a private consulting client. And that was where we had massive, massive, massive success. These realtors were doubling their business, in some cases, tripling their businesses. And that led me to write this book, High Hanging Fruit. So after I consulted with some of them and I further refined it, like specifically for real estate agents, I published this new book that, again, this is like a 200-page book. It's not, like a 30-page ebook download. It's not, a 40-page just pamphlet. It's a legit 200-page book, specifically applying my marketing system to realtors and how you can generate massive amount of leads as a local real estate agent. So everyone on this webinar is going to get a free copy of this book. And so as we dive in, you probably notice I talk fast because I don't want this to be, a 5-hour webinar. Basically what I try to do is I try to cram all of the ideas we talk about in consulting days I do with clients. I try to cram all that into this webinar. So I don't want it to be 5 hours long, so I talk fast. So if you don't already have a pen and paper, please grab that because you'll want to take notes so we can get through all this. So first, let's talk about where to invest your time versus where to invest your money if you are a real estate agent. So if you imagine the typical sales cycle, like the sales funnel, right? It's that like upside down triangle, right? Like if you've ever seen someone sketch that out, it's this funnel thing, where it's really wide at the top, and as it gets down to the bottom, it gets more narrow, right? Basically an upside down triangle. Most real estate agents have been taught their entire career to invest their time at the top of the funnel and then to invest their money at the bottom of the funnel. So most agents have been taught their entire careers that how you generate leads is by prospecting, right? And so they're taught to make a bunch of phone calls, right? And so like how they generate leads is they're time blocking an hour or two a day, and they're cold calling expired listings. They're cold calling for sale by owners. They're calling their sphere of influence, asking for referrals. They're calling friends and family. They're calling past clients to ask for referrals. Maybe if they're not calling, how they're investing their time is they're attending networking groups, and breakfasts with BNI, and they're really involved in their local chamber of commerce because they're trying to get their name out there constantly, as someone who's active in the community, right? And so to generate business, they invest their time. So they're not necessarily spending a bunch of money acquiring leads, but they're investing their time, right? With what budget they do have, whether it's $1,000 a month or $200 a month, right? With whatever advertising budget they do have, they invested at the very bottom of the funnel buying leads. So most agents, if they're investing any money at all in marketing, it's buying leads from something like, Zillow, or they buy leads from realtor.com or, from Trulia or wherever, right? So whether that's $1,000 a month or $150 a month, they spend their money at the bottom of the funnel buying low-hanging fruit. They buy the low-hanging fruit leads, from a company like Zillow. And then how they generate leads at the top of the funnel is investing their time. They're cold calling expireds, cold calling FSBOs, they're networking, right? They're doing all that stuff. The problem with that is that even if it starts to work, even if they actually start to generate leads and they start cultivating and, converting some leads, even if it starts to work and their business starts to grow, the problem is if you're spending your time and you're investing your time generating leads, your time is always the inherent limiting factor on the growth of your business. So if you're cold calling like an hour a day, right? And you're cold calling the, most recent expired listings, or you're, cold calling a list of FSBOs in your area for sale by owners, whatever, right? Even if it's working, you can't just triple the amount of time you're cold calling if you want to triple your business, right? Because more than likely you're already working 50 hours a week. And so if you say, hey, I'm going to start making 3 hours of cold calls every day, well, that just doesn't work, because at some point in the day, you actually have to go out and be a realtor, right? Like you have to go on showings with clients. You have to meet up with clients, go on listing appointments. You have to negotiate contracts. You have to send and reply to emails. Probably have to attend some home inspections, some closings. Like you have to actually do the job. Like you have to be a realtor, right? You can't just spend all day lead generating and calling people. And so again, that's actually the biggest problem is what if this starts working? You very quickly realize that if If you're following the typical formula that most realtors have been taught, like your entire career, that you invest your time to generate leads and you invest your money buying leads, like you buy the low-hanging fruit, your time is always a constraint on the growth of your business. Your time is always the limiting factor that will prevent you from growing your business. So what we do in this context of high-hanging fruit is I challenge you to flip that. Start doing the opposite of what you've been taught. So within the context of this high-hanging fruit idea, we are actually going to invest our money at the top of the funnel generating leads. So we're going to get used to actually investing money to generate leads and have the marketing system generate and cultivate those leads for you so that you can spend your time at the bottom of the funnel. So what this means is that if you build a high-hanging fruit marketing system and you're generating the leads, you're generating, let's say, 200 leads a month, like what most of these realtors are doing that we'll introduce you to on this webinar. If you know that every month you're probably going to get 200 fresh leads coming in, it means you invest your time at the bottom of the funnel. Here's the key: only following up with warm leads that your marketing system warmed up for you. So from now on, you do the opposite of what most realtors are doing. You invest your money at the top of the funnel on a marketing system that generates leads for you, so that from now on, you only have to spend your time following up with warm leads. And so this is a huge change for most people. This is literally the opposite of what most agents do. It's the opposite of what you've been trained your entire career. But the reason this works so well is that, yeah, you're going to generate a bunch of leads, but the real magic is that your time is no longer a constraint on the growth of your business. Because a marketing system, and I like to rely on Facebook ads because it's scalable and the clicks and the leads are really, really cheap. A marketing system is scalable. Your time is not infinitely scalable. If I want to spend $100 a day or $1,000 a day, Facebook doesn't care as long as I have a credit card, right? But I don't want to work 20 hours a day. So my time is not as scalable as my budget is, right? So I'd rather have my marketing budget generate a lot of leads for me so that I only have to invest my time following up with warm leads. So if you do that, you can only spend an hour a day doing follow-up, just like, your friends at your brokerage that maybe took the bold class at Keller Williams, right? And so they're just crazy making cold calls because they're so motivated because they're bold graduates, right? And you can spend the same hour that they do cold calling. You're going to accomplish 10 times as much as they do, because in that hour, you're only reaching out to warm leads that your marketing system already warmed up for you. They are cold calling complete strangers. Guess who is going to convert more leads? Someone who spends their time calling complete strangers, or someone who spends an hour a day calling warm leads who actually signed up and are waiting for your call. And so the reason this was such an advantage, especially to those of you on this webinar who are on a limited budget, maybe you're not a top producing realtor. Maybe you're not like running this award-winning team, right? Maybe you only have $500 a month to spend on marketing. Maybe you only have $200 a month to spend on marketing, right? So you don't have this huge budget. This high-hanging fruit strategy will change your career, because most agents are used to paying $30, $40, even $50 per lead, right? So if they spent $500 on Zillow, they would be happy to get 10 leads from Zillow, right? So they basically view paying $50 per lead as like, great, they're super happy about that. Well, in the context of high-hanging fruit, we typically see leads come in for $3 or $4 a piece. So not $50 a piece, but $3 or $4 a piece. So if you set up the Facebook ads right, as we'll show you on this webinar, every $100 you spend on Facebook ads, you should be bringing in 25 to 30 leads. So let me say that again, because that almost sounds like it's too good to be true. Let me say it again. If you do this right and you follow the Facebook ad instructions that we'll show you on this webinar, if you do this right, every $100 you spend on Facebook ads should bring in about 25 to 30 leads. And so you can see how it's actually really not that hard to double your business if every $100 you spent generated 25 to 30 leads. Even if you were only converting 1% of those leads, that still means that, basically every $200 you spend, you're getting a closing. You can grow your business very quickly if every $200 you spent on marketing directly creates a closing. That means if you spent $600 a month on advertising, it's directly creating 3 new closings every single month. You can grow your business very quickly if the numbers look like that. And so I want to show you this text. It said, I followed up and I got a couple pre-approvals for $400,000. Dude, this really does work. So that's all great. But the reason I want to show you this specific text is that the kid who texted this to me is 19 years old. And so he's following this high-hanging fruit strategy. He got it. He took action. He implemented it. And he's already getting business. And he's going to make $100,000 this year. He's 19 years old. So he literally just graduated high school. If a 19-year-old kid can do this and make 6 figures as an agent, if a 19-year-old can do it, you can too. And so typically what I see of the hundreds, I mean, maybe it's thousands by now, I don't know, but for sure of the hundreds of realtors I've consulted with in the last couple of years, I've noticed a trend. Most agents hit a plateau in their business right around 30 transactions. Maybe it's 27, maybe it's 32, maybe it's 29 deals, maybe it's, 34 closings a year or whatever, but right around 30, give or take a couple deals, right around 30, most agents hit a plateau and they really struggle to get past 30 transactions a year. The reason is at approximately 30 transactions a year, you run out of time. So you don't necessarily run out of money or anything, but you run out of time, because if you're just hustling, right, to like get your business to 30 transactions a year, it was built on just hard work and hustle. If you started brand new, the point that you went from 0 transactions a year to getting to 30 closings a year, you did that with just sales and with hustle and working hard, right? And attending open houses on the weekends, sitting open houses, making sure you always returned calls, being willing to sometimes answer your phone on, evenings and weekends, making sure you followed up on all signed calls, right? Asking your friends and family for referrals, right? I mean, just going above and beyond, doing everything you could do to basically scrap and be scrappy and get every referral and every lead. And, you didn't let anything go to waste, right? You're probably working 50, 60 hours a week to get to that point, right? And so what happens is you hit 30 transactions a year. That's usually when I see people hit a plateau, because, they kind of have this like existential crisis, and they're at, let's say, 33 closings a year. And for the last 2 or 3 years, they've been stuck right around 30. And they're like, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I break through this plateau? What's going on is that if you're already working, let's say 60 hours a week, you kind of just subconsciously, intuitively know that, okay, I can't just double the amount of hours I work. If I want to get to 60 transactions, like if that's your goal, is to double from 30 to 60 transactions, you can't just start working twice as much. Like, you can't work twice as hard. That's not the answer. So you can't just increase the quantitative inputs and expect the outputs to double, right? Because obviously you can't work 100 hours a week. So something qualitative has to change. And so if sales and hustle gets you to 30 deals a year, what's going to get you to 60 isn't sales and hustle, it's marketing. Specifically, lead generation. So again, sales will get you to just 30 deals a year. Hard work and sales can get you to 30 transactions a year, but to break through that plateau and get to the next level where you're doing 50 closings a year or 60 closings a year, or with some of these realtors I'll show you, they're doing 60, 70, even 100 closings a year. It's not about sales. It's about building a marketing system. Specifically, it's about lead generation. So here's a quick example of someone who actually quadrupled their business following this high-hanging fruit system after they had hit plateaus.
Hey guys, Paul Gillespie team at Keller Williams Gateway. Before I met Tim and implemented the platform marketing system, I was selling about 15 houses a year. I'm 3 years into it. The second year, I sold 25. This year, I'm going to sell 60. And then next year, our goal is to sell 100. So platform system is a real deal. I could not have scaled my business so quickly without it. Thank you.
Again, that's Paul. He's a realtor with Keller Williams up in the Baltimore area. Notice that he said the platform strategy in that video. So just to clear up if there's any confusion there, high-hanging fruit is the name I gave to the marketing strategy itself, but platform is the name of the company that I founded. It's a marketing agency where realtors just hire us to do it for them. So that's that little logo you see in the bottom of all the slides. Platform is just the name of the company that I started. So if you want to just hire us to manage all your Facebook marketing and for you and to set up all your ads for you, so you don't have to learn how to do all this stuff. That's what Platform is. You can just hire Platform to do all that for you. So, but if I say the platform strategy or I say the high-hanging fruit strategy, I mean the same thing. Those terms are synonyms. So if you ever hear me say platform or high-hanging fruit, I essentially am talking about the exact same thing. So what we want to stay away from in terms of lead generation and where we spend our money is what I call the Google industrial complex. So most agents are, whether they realize it or not, they're spending their advertising budget with Google, because pretty much everyone in the real estate industry these days, whether it's Curator, Commissions Inc., Boomtown, even Realtor.com and Zillow, they're just middlemen for Google ads. They take your money and then they buy clicks from Google and then they just mark it up so they make a profit. That's essentially the business model of every real estate marketing system out there. So I kind of like jokingly like refer to it as the Google industrial complex, because most realtors don't know that that's how it works. That, you know, these companies just take your money, they mark it up so that they can make a profit. And that's cool. You know, I'm capitalist. I totally understand you want to make a profit. You want to have your business work, you know, so that's cool. But just realize that's how all these companies, that's how they operate. That's their business model. So whether you realize it or not, you're probably sending your advertising budget to Google, and Google is low-hanging fruit. Because if you think about the psychology of the sales cycle, by the time someone is willing to go on Google and start searching for homes, you know, they go to Zillow, they're usually ready to buy sooner rather than later. They're low-hanging fruit at that point. That's why it's called search intent, right? If someone goes on Google, they have an intent to search for something because they have to know what they're searching for, right? They're, you know, maybe they're in Madison, Wisconsin. They're typing in best realtor in Madison, or they're typing in homes for sale Madison. You know, they actually have search intent. So at that point in their buyer's journey, you know, in their sales cycle, they're already what I would consider low-hanging fruit. We want to get to them earlier in the sales cycle. We want to get to them 3 or 4 or 5 months before they're at that point, when they're kind of just very casually doing research, right? So we do that with Facebook ads, not Google. So the reason we want to avoid Google is that in the last, let's just call it the last 5 years, Google's gotten way too expensive. There's probably some agents on this webinar that maybe used Google 3 years ago or 4 years ago or 5 years ago. If you've been using the pay-per-click system, you know, with Google, you know that the clicks have gotten way more expensive in the last couple of years. So to generate the same amount of leads that you generated maybe just 2 or 3 years ago, you're probably spending double what you were back then for the same amount of leads. And so it's just gotten way, way expensive. Like, it's much more expensive than it was even just a couple of years ago to get leads off of Google. And because Zillow and Realtor.com and Boomtown and Commissions Inc. and all these companies, because they're all fishing in the same pond, they're all getting their clicks and therefore they're getting their leads from Google, they pass on that price increase to you, right? So it's junior high supply and demand. It's like just very basic junior high economics. What's like the root issue that's causing this problem is that approximately the same number of people are buying and selling homes this year as they were 5 years ago. So in terms of like the rates of home ownership amongst Americans, pretty much the same amount of people are buying homes in the United States in 2017 as they were in 2012 or 2013, right? It really hasn't changed a whole lot. So the same amount of people are online searching, right? What has changed is that way more many realtors are trying to invest their marketing budget online. You know, and they're hiring companies like Boomtown and Commissions Inc., or they're increasing their ad spend budget with Zillow or Realtor.com. And so there's way more advertising dollars chasing those people searching online for homes. But there's only a finite number. Like the same amount of people that are searching today were searching 5 years ago. So that really hasn't changed, but there's way more dollars chasing those people. So again, you learned about this probably in like 7th grade, right? When demand exceeds supply, if the demand goes way up and the supply of something stays the same, prices go up. That's just very basic junior high economics, right? And so Google has gotten way, way expensive because there's so many more realtors now bidding on these clicks, bidding on these leads. It just drives the price up. And so all of the internet, all of Google functions on an implicit auction system. So that, you know, the price goes way up. I call it the Google industrial complex. Basically, everything revolves around on Google. So we don't use Google. Like, I don't want to have to compete against Zillow if I'm a local real estate agent, because Zillow is literally a public billion-dollar company. You are never going to outbid Zillow. You are never going to outrank Zillow's SEO. You will never rank above Zillow in search engine ranking. So don't even try, right? What we do instead is we fight a different battle entirely. So we're just going to sidestep that and let all the other realtors fight over the low-hanging fruit while we build a little bit more intelligent marketing lead generation strategy that kind of intercepts the leads earlier in the sales cycle. So 3 or 4 months before they would ever even get to the point where they go on Google and they, hop on Zillow, and then they sign up, and then boom, they get bombarded with, 20 agents that Zillow sold their contact information to. We want to get that lead in our database 3 or 4 months before they ever get to that point. And how we do that is Facebook ads. Facebook is the wild, wild west of online advertising. Facebook, in terms of where it's at as a platform, is where Google was about 5 or 6 years ago with their ads. So it's very mature. There's, billions of people on Facebook, but the clicks are still as cheap as 30, 40, 50 cents a piece. You're not getting clicks anymore on Google for 30, 40, 50 cents a piece. So Facebook is the wild, wild west of digital advertising. What you need to know is that Facebook is where Google was 5 or 6 years ago. So it is still possible to get cheap leads. It is still possible to get leads for a couple dollars a piece, but you can't get that from Google, which is what pretty much every agent now is trying to do. You have to get your leads from Facebook instead. So how we do that is we offer real value. You've probably heard this before, but I'm going to tackle this from a slightly different angle, a slightly different perspective than what you're used to. So the reason most real estate agent ads don't work is very simple. It's all about them. They're just promoting a picture of their face and their logo. And they're saying, hey, buy a house from me because I've been in the business for 15 years, or because here's how many homes I sold last year, or here's my ranking, or here was my sales volume, here was my production volume last year, right? Whatever. They're just bragging about themselves. It's all about them. That doesn't really add any value to the end user. That doesn't add any value to the actual home buyer or the homeowner who's thinking about listing their home. That's just you bragging about you. That's not adding value, right? And so to generate a lead, we have to provide enough value to where someone consciously thinks about it like a baseball card trade. Think back to when you were in 4th grade, if you traded baseball cards, right? If you were going to trade, a Babe Ruth rookie card, right? You're not just going to give it up for some random baseball card. It better be an amazing trade. Like, when we trade, we want fair value for fair value, right? Most agents don't think about it like this way. Like, you almost feel entitled, right? That, people should just be giving me their names and their emails and their phone numbers. And so, of course, no one is clicking your ads. No one is signing up because you're not offering anything valuable to them. So write this down if you're taking notes. Lead generation is as simple as offering something of value in exchange for someone's contact information. Lead generation is as simple as offering something of value in exchange for someone's contact information. Where most realtors screw that up is they're not offering anything of value. They just feel entitled that people will go to their website and they'll register to search for homes and they'll give them all their contact information, right? That's not how it works anymore. Maybe that cut it in 2010, 2011, back when people searching online weren't as sophisticated. They weren't signed up already for 100 other email newsletters and things like that. Maybe it worked back then, doesn't work anymore. If you're going to convince someone to voluntarily part ways with their name and their email and their phone number and actually give you their real email address and their real phone number, right? So they're not typing in some, BS email like fu@gmail.com, or if you ask for their phone number, they're not putting 111-111-1111, right? If you want someone to actually give you their real phone number and their real email address, you have to give them something that's so valuable that they think it's a fair trade. So just think about this webinar, right? The reason you're on this webinar this evening isn't because it's hey, come join Tim and talk about high-hanging fruit and it'll be fun. And Tim is just so cool that you'll want to spend an hour with him, on a Tuesday night. No, of course not. That's not how this works. You didn't come here just because I thought you would show up just because, right? The reason you clicked the Facebook ad, the reason you signed up, the reason you gave your real phone number and your real email address, I'm not stupid. It's not because of the webinar. I know it's because you want a free copy of the book, right? The book is what made you interested. Giving away a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, is what made you willing to give your name and your email, and your phone number and all that, right? So that was such a valuable offer that you were willing to trade that for, your name and your email address and your phone number, right? So I'm not stupid. I know that. I think, just some inside baseball here, guys, I think we spent about $1,000 on this webinar, and we generated about 250 leads, I think, total. And so we're right around $4 cost per lead. So every $4 we spent on the ad, we got a lead to sign up for the webinar, right? So that's typically what we do. And we're targeting realtors across the entire United States of America, and we're still getting a $4 cost per lead. So just imagine how cheap your leads can be if you get it dialed into just your specific market that you're wanting to serve, right? Like a couple mile radius or whatever zip code you specialize in or whatever neighborhoods you're wanting to farm, right? So if we can get leads for $4 a piece while targeting the entire frickin' United States of America, you can get leads very, very cheaply if you apply this to your local area. So let's talk about some specific ads that actually offer real value to convince people to give their name and email. Actually, first, let's talk about what most realtors do. Most realtors are driving people to a website that has IDX on it, right? So maybe you have a website with Real Geeks, or you have a website with Commissions Inc. or Boomtown, or what's the big one now? You have a website with Playster, right? And basically, it's this nice looking website. It's a template website that has IDX, so people can search for listings. And how most of these lead generation websites work, whether it's Playster, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., whatever, is that they're driving you there and a timer goes off. So once someone's been on your website for about 20 seconds, or once they've looked at 3 different listings, like they get a pop-up and it's like, boom, give us your name, email, and phone number to register, to create an account, right? And if they don't create an account and they don't register, then they can't keep looking at homes. So you kind of just you're guarding all the information by forcing them to register, right? But think about how that feels from the perspective of the lead, right? They were just casually looking at homes, using your website exactly the way it was meant to be used. And then boom, there's a pop-up and it's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I didn't want to give you my information. I was just looking at homes. And you're forcing them to give their name, email, phone number, or else you can't keep looking at homes. That's not really a fair trade. That's more of like a hostage situation, right? It's like, hey, I want your name, email, and your phone number, or else, right? So it really shouldn't surprise you that we have like an epidemic in the real estate industry of fake leads. It really shouldn't surprise you if that's the way that you're generating leads. You're not really offering anything of value. You're just forcing people to register just to look at some stupid homes on your website. They're not that serious. They just want to look at some homes, see what's on the market. They're not ready to give away their name, email, and phone number so that you can harass them, right? It really shouldn't surprise you that if that's the way that you're generating leads, that people, of course, are going to give a fake phone number or a fake email. Like, you know what that means? It means nothing more than, hey, I'm going to give a fake phone number because I don't want you to call me, or I'm going to give a fake email address because I don't want you to follow up with me. I'm not ready yet, right? That's all that means. And so the average real estate website converts less than 5%. Most of them are around 2 or 3%. That's just the actual stats. That's the actual math of it. So if you get 100 unique clicks, whether you're using Commissions Inc., Playster, Boomtown, whatever, if you get 100 unique visitors to your website, you're probably actually only getting 2 or 3 people signing up. And out of those 2 or 3 people, a couple of them are probably fake leads. It's a fake phone number, fake email. So the actual conversion rates are terrible. I mean, it's reached like an epidemic level where it's just embarrassing, right? So, but again, it shouldn't surprise you because it's not offering anything of value. So what you do instead is you put a little bit more creativity into how you generate leads. Put a little bit more creativity into what you're offering that would compel a complete stranger to give away their contact information, because what you have to offer is so valuable that they would gladly give their name and their email and their phone number, right? So think about this webinar. You're on here, like I said, because you wanted a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. I know that. Like, I'm not stupid. I know that you're a realtor. You're an extremely busy professional. You're not just going to hop on a webinar just because, right? There has to be some sort of offer to incentivize you to willingly, voluntarily give your name and email and your phone number. And in this case, the offer was a free book, right? That's a pretty awesome offer. That's why we got 250 people to sign up for it, right? So you could use that same offer in your business. You could write a free book about your market. You know, let's say you're in Madison, it could be The Ultimate Guide to Madison. If you're in Austin, Texas, it could be How to Buy and Sell Homes in Austin. If you live in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, it could be like 12 marketing strategies to sell your Nashville home, you know, whatever. You actually write a book and you give that book away for free. That's a very consistent Facebook ad I've seen work. And usually the headline, literally, like if you're in Nashville, the headline might just say something like, "Attention Nashville. If you're thinking about buying a home next year, read this book before you contact a real estate agent." So notice the wording I'm using is implying that I'm totally respecting the fact that you're probably not ready to go right now. But if you're just doing research, you can pick up this book. And so it's say like the actual Facebook ad, again, like if you're taking notes, write this down. This is what the Facebook ad should say. "Attention Nashville. If you're thinking about buying a home next year, read this free book before you contact a real estate agent." And so the way I'm wording it, I'm just acknowledging, like I'm implying that like, hey, it's totally cool if you're not ready to buy a house right now in December, right? If it's sometime next year, that's totally cool, right? But read this book before you contact a real estate agent. And then so they click the link, it takes them to a landing page where they have to sign up to get a free copy of the book, and then we'll send it to them. And on the landing page, it clearly states, "Tell us where to send your book." So guess what? If you have a free book funnel going, all of your leads are going to be legit contact information with someone's real name, their real email, their real address, because you wouldn't know where to send their book. If they put a fake address or they put a fake name or fake phone number, you can't send them the book, right? So it's not an instant download. You're telling them, "Hey, tell me your contact information so I know where to send your book." And so that right there just eliminates the problem once and for all of people putting fake contact info if there actually is a logical reason that you're asking for it. So if someone's searching for homes on your website and then boom, they have to register and they have to create an account, right? There's really not a logical reason why you should have to register just to look at homes, because they're thinking, well, no, like I'm not going to register on your website to look at homes. Like if you're going to force me to create an account, I'll just X out and I'll go to realtor.com. Or I'll X out and I'll go to Zillow, because I can look at any homes on those websites without having to create an account. So they'll just leave, right? There's no real logical reason that they should give their contact information up just to look at homes on your website, right? But if you're offering to send someone a book, it's like you have to have their contact information. You have to have their real contact information, or else how would you know where to send the book? Like you wouldn't know where to ship it, right? So you have to get a real email address, real, mailing address, phone number, name, all that stuff. So a free book ad works really, really well, and it basically guarantees you're going to get legit leads. Another ad that's working super, super well right now is a homes report of a specific characteristic. And so what I mean by that is you create a free list of homes that share a common characteristic that in your area might be desirable. So if you're in a rural area, or, like not necessarily in the middle of nowhere, but just anywhere that's not a huge city, right? You could do an acreage homes list, right? That's one of my favorite ads. Clients are literally getting leads right now for $2 a piece using that. So let's say you are in, let's say you're in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You could do a Tulsa acreage homes report, right? It's a free list of homes in the Tulsa area that have 1 acre of land or more, right? And then so you create a Facebook ad that says, "Attention Tulsa. If you know anyone thinking about buying a home next year, show them this free report. I've created a free list, of all the active listings for sale here in the Tulsa area that have at least 1 acre of land." And so all you do is you send them this free report, and when they get on the landing page, again, you tell them, "Hey, tell me where to send your report," right? Tell me where to send your report. And so that right there guarantees you're going to get real contact information, because you're making it clear to them, hey, this is not like an instant download. It's not one of those things where you click submit and then it instantly downloads and it shows you the homes. I'm going to email it to you. So give me your real email address so I know where to email you the report, right? So that ensures right there that you're always going to get legit names, like real email addresses, right? But the real reason I love this Acreage Homes report is that what we know is that almost all of these are actually listing leads. They're seller leads, because pretty much no one, statistically, buys a house with acreage as a first-time home buyer. Like, no one as their very first house goes out and buys something with an acre or two of land, right? They almost always are an existing homeowner that's a move-up buyer, and they're moving up to something a little bit more spacious with, you know, an acre or two of land, and they're gonna have to sell their existing home. So that's a twofer. Like, you are going to get a listing on it because they have to sell their current home, and since they're a move-up buyer, you're also going to help them move up into that, you know, bigger home with some land. So it's not that we care at all about helping someone find like acreage. We're not trying to specialize in selling land or anything like that. It's that what we know is that statistically almost all of these are listing leads. And so when they sign up, they don't necessarily know this, but you know this. You basically know that it's a seller too. So it's a buyer and a seller. So those are awesome. We can get these leads typically for about $2 a piece using Facebook ads. You just create an ad talking about, I've created a free Acreage Homes report. Here's where you can go to view all the homes currently for sale here that have at least 1 acre of land, right? So that ad works super well. If you're not in an area where acreage, you know, is a thing, like maybe you're in like a city in the Sun Belt, right? Like maybe you're in Phoenix, or you're somewhere in Florida, or you're somewhere near the ocean or something, right? Where it's a little bit warmer. There's not necessarily a ton of acreage, but there's homes with pools. The same strategy applies. You can create a pool homes report where the Facebook ad would say, you know, attention Phoenix, I've created a free report of homes with pools. If you want to get a free list of all the active listings that have a pool, click here. And then you send them just, you know, you just send the leads like an MLS link of all the homes currently, you know, listed that have a pool. It's not that you care about, you know, trying to specialize or anything in selling pool homes. You're not trying to create a reputation as I'm the expert realtor in pool homes. It's that what we know is that, again, statistically, 99 out of 100 people buying a pool home are not a first-time home buyer. If they're buying a pool home, they're probably an existing homeowner who's moving up. They're upgrading into a house with a pool. And so when you get that lead, you know that you're going to represent them on multiple transactions, because you're going to help them sell their current house, and you're also going to be the buyer's agent when they buy their next house with a pool. And so we're running this, you know, pool homes report. It kind of looks like a buyer ad. It looks like it's an ad that we're trying to generate buyer leads with, but really it's generating sellers. This is all using Facebook ads. And so those work really, really well, because just imagine, I mean, if you were looking for a house with acreage, you're looking for a house with a pool, like it would take you hours and hours in research trying to figure out all the, you know, active listings in your area that have that. It would totally be worth it to give up your name and your email and your phone number. It would totally be worth it to give your contact information if a realtor could save you all that hours of research just by sending you a link with all the homes actively listed that fit that specific criteria. You know, because most of the softwares out there that have IDX, you know, whether it's Zillow or Realtor.com or Redfin or Boomtown or Commissions Inc., you know, they make it pretty easy to search for homes based on price range, based on number of bedrooms or number of bathrooms, but it's really not that easy to search for homes with like specific criteria. And in some cases where you can, a lot of people don't realize that you can, right? So the pool homes report and the acreage homes list, I've seen agents test different things where they did a backyard homes report, where it's like a free report of all the homes currently for sale that had a fenced in backyard, right? You can get creative with it. So think of a way you can offer a free report of homes that appeals to a specific characteristic that people are looking for. Those leads usually come in $2 a piece, $3 a piece. So imagine running one of these, like the acreage homes list. I said that consistently for our clients gets leads for as little as $2 a piece. And so this sounds like too good to be true, but I'll show you some case studies in a little bit where agents actually talk about this, just so you know that I'm not making this up. This is legit. This is real. You're getting leads for $2 a piece. So you're spending $100 on an ad. and you're getting 50 leads. So every $100 you spend, you get 50 leads coming in that are requesting that report and that are giving you their real contact information, their real name, their real emails. You can see how if every $100 you spent brought in 50 leads, it really wouldn't be that hard to like double your business, right? Or maybe even triple your GCI, right? So the key is you have to actually offer real value, right? So one more example that I can give you here is what we call the multiple choice quiz. And so if you think about what questions or concerns do home buyers out there have if they're thinking about buying a house? One of the top things is, what will I qualify for in a mortgage? And that's typically one of the hardest things that realtors have to do when they're trying to convert a lead, is like make sure that the leads are pre-approved, make sure that they're pre-qualified. You know, I mean, honestly, just make sure that you're not wasting your time with crap leads who had a bankruptcy last week, right? You know, or people that are just never going to qualify for a mortgage. Maybe they're working at a gas station for $10 an hour and you just know that like, hey, there's no way you're going to qualify to buy a house, right? You don't want to waste your time following up and trying to convert and help these leads if you know that there is just no way they'll qualify to buy a house. Obviously, you're super polite to them and you're professional and you show them respect and dignity, but you don't want to invest a bunch of your time helping them and showing them around if they're just never going to qualify, right? So what we've done to better qualify the leads and actually also generate leads is we created a multiple choice quiz, because I found that often when agents ask that question, hey, are you pre-approved or would you like me to introduce you to a lender? I'd be happy to connect you, you know, with a loan officer. That's when leads go silent. That's when they give you the silent treatment and they were super talkative up until that point. And then right when you bring up the topic of, you know, applying for a mortgage or getting pre-approved or even just pre-qualified for a mortgage, people get scared and they go radio silent on you and they stop replying to your messages and they stop replying to your text messages. They stop replying to your phone calls, right? Because it's intimidating. So what we've done instead is, rather than send people a form where they, you know, they apply and they answer all the questions about like their income and their debts and all that stuff, rather than using a form, we created a multiple choice quiz. And so we're essentially asking all the same questions that you would ask in like a mortgage application to get like a pre-qualification. Like we're asking, I mean, we're asking questions like, have you ever owned a home before? Have you served in the US military? Are you currently renting? How much are you paying in rent? You know, how much would you be comfortable paying in a mortgage payment? Approximately how much money do you make every year? And we use income ranges. So we're not asking them just to type in what they make. We ask them like, are you making less than $4,000 a month? Are you making more than $4,000 but less than $7,000? Are you making more than $7,000 a month? Well, so we'll ask them all sorts of questions, just basically all the stuff that would be on a pre-approval application, right? But rather than put it in the context of an application, so it looks like this big, intimidating, scary form, you know, we disguise it into the context of a multiple choice quiz. Because quizzes are just like popular right now, right, in our culture, right? If you're on social media, you're on Facebook, you've seen these quizzes maybe on BuzzFeed for, you know, take the quiz to find out which Game of Thrones character you're like. Or for, you know, the ladies, you may have seen ads pop up from BuzzFeed where it's like, take the Disney princess quiz to find out which Disney princess shares your personality, right? And so there's always just kind of just weird quizzes that are popular right now. It's just a popular thing, I guess. So we took that idea and I just thought, hey, how can we apply that to like real estate lead generation? How can we apply this just cultural trend that's going on right now of people taking quizzes? How can we apply this to help realtors generate more leads? And so what we created is the home buyer quiz. So it's literally like a 12-question multiple choice quiz that people take that has an ABCD answer. The reason they're taking the quiz on Facebook, it's a Facebook ad, is to find out if you could qualify to buy a home, right? So they click on that, they're like, oh, cool. I'll just click, I'll take this quiz, and that way I don't have to talk to a lender. That way I don't have to talk to, you know, a mortgage loan officer or a realtor. Like, of course, to actually, you know, apply for a loan to actually buy a house, like eventually, of course, they'll have to talk to a real loan officer. But this quiz is a nice intermediary step that allows them to take a step in that direction without feeling like the awkward pressure of talking to a human being, right? And then, surprise, at the end of the quiz, to see their results, we ask them to give us their name and email. And we say, hey, we will email you your quiz results. Tell us where to send your quiz results. So they take this quiz. What the Facebook ad says is, if you're thinking about buying a home next year, take, let's say you're in Madison, Wisconsin. Take the Madison Homebuyer Quiz to find out if you could qualify to buy a house. And it might be like www.madisonhomebuyerquiz.com or something like that, right? And so they click and they answer all the 12 questions, just quick multiple choice questions. Probably takes about 2 minutes to go through and answer all the questions. So it's not this huge quiz where it takes them half hour, but it also doesn't take 10 seconds either. It probably takes about 2 minutes to answer all the questions. And then at the end, once they've invested, that time, like the 2 minutes taking the quiz, at the end of answering all the questions, then it asks them, hey, what is your name and email? Tell us where to send your quiz results. And typically what we see is about 25 to 30% of people will actually give us their real name and email, and then we send them their quiz results. So when that lead is generated for you, this is where the high-hanging fruit strategy really kicks in here, right? When that lead is generated, they're probably 4 or 5, 6 months away from actually being ready to buy a house, right? But the cool thing is, you're not just getting their name and email. So you're not just getting their contact information. You're getting their contact information and how they answered all the 12 questions. So you can read all of their answers. And so it makes follow-up really, really easy. And you also know how quality of a buyer they might be and how likely they are to qualify for a mortgage. You can see all of their answers, right? And you can customize the follow-up based on that, right? So maybe they answered that, yes, they did serve in the military. Like, you could obviously email them and say, hey, I was looking over your quiz results and I noticed that you're a military veteran. First of all, thanks for your service. Have you heard of the VA home loan program? Did you know that you could buy a house with no money down, right? And so you customize your follow-up based on their answers. And so these leads are amazing because, again, you're not just getting their contact information, you're getting their contact information and how they answered all the questions on that quiz. So that's another example of how you can use this kind of high-hanging fruit strategy to generate leads. You provide value to people early on, and as long as you're actually providing real value early on in the sales cycle, people will be willing to give you their contact information. It's just that most realtors don't really think about it that way. They don't think about it as if you're making a fair trade. They think about it as if, oh, like, I'm just going to force people to register on my site, and if they don't register, then screw them, right? So you actually have to put a little bit more creativity into it than that, right? You need to look at it from the perspective of the homeowner or of the home buyer and just ask yourself, honestly, ask yourself, would I be willing to give my contact info for that? For whatever you're offering, it's like, if I saw that from someone else, would I be willing to give my contact information for that? So offer real value. If I could almost just narrow it down to one thing, that's what this high-hanging fruit strategy, that's what Platform is all about, is offering real value in exchange for people's contact information. And so what we've done at Platform is we've built this marketing system for realtors where we've already dialed in all the ads. We already know all the ads that work. And so that's why realtors that, end up hiring Platform, they can get 200 leads a month basically on autopilot, like fresh leads every month, exclusive leads too. So they're not sharing the leads because we only work with one realtor per city. And so since we only work with one agent per market, all the leads they get are exclusive. They can just focus their time only following up with warm leads. So that's why I said, if you structure your business that way, where your marketing system generates leads, you only spend your time following up with warm leads that your marketing system already kind of warmed up for you. So if you want some more examples of ads, because there's a bunch more ads we use at Platform that I honestly just do not have time to cover in this webinar, go to platformmarketingpdf.com and you can download a PDF of all that, of 5 more specific Facebook ads that are working right now. And notice when you go to platformmarketingpdf.com, guess what? That's an example of a landing page where we're capturing your contact information, right? So just notice as you're going through, because let's see, we've already had 2 people go through and download that, 3 now. Like, that's an example of what I'm talking about. I'm offering something of value. Now there's 4. I am offering something of value that you're like, yeah, I'm totally willing to give my contact information in exchange for that download, right? And so as long as what you're offering is actually valuable, generating leads is really not a problem. It's honestly not. It's not hard. It's just that a lot of agents and just business owners in general, most small business owners in general haven't ever really put creativity into what they're offering in exchange for someone's contact information. Because once you actually look at it, most realtors are like, oh yeah, I guess I can totally see why I'm not generating leads. I'm not really offering anything that's valuable. And so the other reason I love this kind of platform strategy, this high hanging fruit strategy, is that if you generate the leads really early in the sales cycle, you don't have to worry about like closing. You don't have to worry about, you know, handling objections. You don't have to worry about using a slick, you know, sales script. Maybe you downloaded a sales script, you know, from Mike Ferry or from Tom Ferry or whatever. And, you know, you're calling FSBOs and you're calling expireds. And, you know, to do that, you have to have an effective script, right? And because you need to know how to handle all the objections, because maybe it's a for sale by owner that you're calling, right? And you're trying to convince them, hey, let me over to come check out your house. You kind of lie and you say, I have a buyer that might be interested, right? And when's a good time that I can come over and check out your house? You know, it's that typical bullshit script that most people use when they're trying to cold call an expired listing or to cold call a FSBO, right? So if you do this right, you can focus on relationship building instead of hard selling, because if they're still 3 or 4 months out, it's super casual and you just get to know them, right? You add value, get to know them when the time is right. Then when they're actually ready to buy or sell, they'll work with you, right? I noticed we have a couple people asking here in chat. Almost to the end here, guys. I'm almost at the point where we can wrap this up, and I'll show you how you can get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. So almost done. This is not a 4-hour webinar or anything like that, I promise. So almost at the point, and if you're just joining us in just a little bit here, I'm going to show you how to get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. So, but this is another reason that I love this strategy, this high hanging fruit strategy, is that you can actually focus on building a relationship instead of just hard selling. Because, you know, if someone is 90 days out, like, you don't have to worry about, you know, working so hard to try and set an appointment. If they're 90 days out, just get to know them, build rapport, get them to trust you, send them some links of homes in whatever their price range is, whatever they're looking for, and then just call every week or two to check in. And then when the time is right, they'll work with you, because over time, they just start to view you implicitly as their realtor. So here's an example of Brandon Ray. He's actually a client that works with us in the suburbs of Denver. And he uses this high hanging fruit strategy to not only pick up buyers, but also get listings. So he's going to show you a quick $400,000 listing he picked up using this high hanging fruit strategy.
In 2016, my team's going to do over 40 lead gen deals. It's not just all about the leads. We're walking up to a listing I have where the owner saw me in a retargeting campaign through a market update video, and now I've got a $450,000 listing. This whole high-hanging fruit marketing campaign strategy, it really works.
Nice. I always like watching the video to the point where the dog barks. I just think that's funny. So that's actually a real listing. That's actually a real listing that Brandon got using this high-hanging fruit strategy. So obviously you have the advantage of leverage too, because if your marketing system is generating hundreds of leads a month for you, right, you're only spending your time following up with warm leads, like warm leads that your marketing system already generated for you, and maybe send some follow-up emails, you're running some retargeting ads. This is what Platform does for you, by the way. We just handle all this stuff for you. So it's the ultimate leverage, because you don't have to make 2 hours a day of cold calls or 3 hours a day of calls. You can just do 1 hour a day of follow-up, because in that 1 hour, you're only following up with leads that the marketing system, again, you're only following up with leads that the marketing system already warmed up for you. So at any given time, you can actually be, I mean, essentially simultaneously cultivating hundreds of leads, where most realtors are limited to the person they're calling at that moment, right? Quality over quantity. This is pretty straightforward. If you generate leads in a way that actually provides value to those leads, right? You're sending them a free homes report, or they took the home buyer quiz and you're sending them their quiz results, like how they did, and you're telling them, hey, here's what you might need to work on, or here's what I recommend doing, right? You send them a free book, right? Because everyone on this webinar is going to get a free copy of my book. you're going to get quality leads, not just quantity. Because someone who wants that you actually engaged with, that you provided value to, that's going to be a quality lead because you're now positioned as the expert. It's not just a huge quantity of leads where you're playing the law of large numbers like these people, you know, who maybe went through the BOLD program, right, at Keller Williams, and they're just looking to make 200 dials a day or 300 dials a day or whatever other crazy, you know, number goal that they have for number of touches they need to make a day to hit their goals, right? It's about quality over quantity. You can actually have less contacts with leads because it's much higher quality, and you'll actually end up converting more leads that way. I mean, just think about it. Like, this is how you would want to be treated as a consumer. Like, if you're going to go buy a car, do you want to work with the salesman at the car dealership who just has a crazy sales goal that he wants to sell 30 cars that week? Or would you rather work with a salesperson who's trying to actually build a relationship with his clients and build lifelong, like, referral like relationships where, you know, he's not going to be super aggressive and he wants to earn your business over the lifetime, right? Which would you rather work with? It's obvious you'd rather work with the person who's committed to earning your business over the long term, right? But often as realtors, we do the opposite of that in our own business. Like, we're trying to so aggressively call leads and convert leads, and it's all about low-hanging fruit, right? It's all about how many deals can I close in the next month, right? That we never really build a business. We never really build a pipeline of future leads. Once you have a pipeline of future leads, it'll give you the confidence to not be so aggressive at converting leads when you get them on the phone, because you're not backed into a corner. You don't have to convert this lead or else your family won't have dinner tomorrow, right? If you have a huge pipeline of leads, you'll feel less pressured that you have to be so salesy with every lead. You actually act more casual, you provide more value, and a cool thing happens. You'll find yourself actually converting more leads than you were before. So the final thing I'm going to cover before everyone gets a free copy of the book. So before we give out the books here, the final thing we're going to talk about, just this analogy, it'll take about a minute, is what I call fishing upstream. That's what high hanging fruit is all about. It's really fishing upstream. So imagine you and some buddies, you and some friends are, out fishing at a river, right? And you all have your lines cast in the same area. So you're all within like 5 feet of each other. Basically, you're standing next to each other. Your lines are cast in. If your lines are that close together, it's a zero-sum game, right? Any fish that you catch is a fish that your friend can't catch. Any, fish that your friend catches, you can't catch, right? Because if they bite, your line, they can't bite your friend's line, right? So it's a zero-sum game. And so you're competing against each other, right? Like, for you to lose, or for you to win, I should say, your friend has to lose, right? It's a zero-sum game. What would happen if you walked 100 feet upstream, you cast your line in there, you fished upstream? If you walked 100 feet up and you decided to fish there, you would catch all the fish before they ever got downstream to where your friends are fishing. You would intercept the fish before they got down there. That's what we're doing with this high-hanging fruit strategy. That's what we're doing with this platform strategy. We're fishing upstream. We're going to intercept all the leads when they're 4 or 5 months out before they ever get to the point where they're going to go online and start searching on Zillow, right? We're going to intercept those leads before they get to that point so that they opt into our ads, they click on our ads, and then when they are ready to go, 3 or 4 or 5 months from now, they're not going to interview other realtors. They're not going to click on Zillow and register there. They're just going to text you, or they're going to email you, or they're going to call you, and they're going to be like, hey, I'm ready to go. What's the next step? Because you've been just casually building a relationship with them over the last 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months. They're not going to interview other agents. They'll just text you and they'll be like, hey, I'm ready to go. What do we do now? Right? So it's all about fishing upstream. You build a pipeline so that you don't have to worry about where your next deal is going to come from, right? And so as we close here, guys, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you how to get a free copy of the book, and then I'm going to show you a couple more videos of how you can actually the specifics of how you can implement this platform strategy. If you're interested in hiring platform, we're a marketing agency that's actually built specifically to work with realtors. You can just hire us to do all this for you. So if you want us to set up all the Facebook campaigns for you, set up all the landing pages for you, run the split tests on all that, we even edit all of your videos for you. I'll share more. I'll share more with you later. If you want to hire us to do that, I'll show you some videos. And the cool thing is, if you're on this webinar, we're going to give you a chance to trial us for a month. So I'm going to show you a quick video here. Then I'm going to show you how to get a free copy of the book. And then I'll discuss a little bit more about platform and how we've been able to double and even triple the GCI of realtors that decide to hire us just to do their marketing for them. So that's pretty cool. If you want results you've never had before, you'll have to do things you've never done before. So let's dive in and see how these realtors have doubled and tripled their businesses. After I show you this video of Becky here, Becky hired Platform about a year ago. After I show you this quick video of Becky here, then the very next slide after this one is the free copy of the book, how you can get that.
Hi, I'm Becky. I became part of Platform in January and became full-time with it about 6 weeks ago. I have my first closing in a few days with the Platform lead, and they're downsizing, so I'm actually also listing their home, which is over $1 million listing. So this is just one of the many leads that I have for Platform. I have over $17 million right now in the pipeline from buyers and sellers from now until probably next year, early next year, that are looking. Platform's been the best for me. It's the best, most successful thing that I've seen out there. The guys behind the scenes doing all of the back end things were just amazing. The support is phenomenal. Without them, I would not have the success that I'm having and will have on it. I'm very thankful to be part of the Platform family. Thanks. Bye.
Cool, so that's Becky, and that's actually not a typo. It says she added 17 million to her pipeline. It's not supposed to say 1.7 million or anything. She actually added 17 million in future business to her pipeline once she hired Platform. So it's all about high-hanging fruit. It's about building that pipeline. And so, as promised, here's where you can get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. So it's not highhangingfruit.com, it's highhangingfruitbook.com. So if you want to get a free copy of the book, just go to www.highhangingfruitbook.com and you can get a totally free copy of the book. Now, as I mentioned earlier, everyone who's on this webinar, not only are we going to give you a free copy of the book, but we also have a bonus that I actually think is 100 times more valuable than just giving you a free copy of this book. Because you can get a free copy of the book and you can read about it, but what if you had the opportunity to have us set all of this up for you? So you don't have to learn how to do any of this. You don't have to learn Facebook ads. You don't have to learn digital marketing. You can just have us do it for you. We're going to offer you actually, like I said, a better bonus than just a free book. We're going to offer you a trial Platform if you're on this webinar, if you're interested in working with us. So how this works is realtors hire Platform to manage all their marketing for them. So if you don't want to learn Facebook ads, you don't want to learn how to set up landing pages, you can just have us do it for you. I actually have a guest on this webinar. Normally we don't do this, but I'm actually on this webinar right now in Austin, Texas. I'm at a marketing conference, and it so happens that we have a client in the Austin area, Danny. Danny, say hi.
Hi.
And Danny has been working with Platform for what?
A year and a half.
Yeah, so about 18 months she's been a Platform client. And Danny's business has actually grown from about 100,000 in GCI. So you were making about 100 grand a year when you started, right?
Correct.
And now you're almost at 300,000?
Correct.
Yeah, so in just 18 months, we've basically tripled her business from 100 to 300,000 in GCI. So that's what I'm saying. Like Platform is not something that might add a couple deals to your business. This high-hanging fruit strategy, this Platform idea is so powerful it could double your business or triple your business. But the real reason it works so well is that we only work with one agent per market. And so it's not like, Danny, you're in Austin, right? There's like 1 million people or 2 million people in Austin, something like that?
2 million.
Yeah.
In Austin and the surrounding areas.
Yeah. So Danny, how many realtors are using Platform in the Austin area?
1, just me.
Exactly. It's not 1 per zip code. It's not, 1 per every 50,000 people or something. It's Danny has the entire Austin area, including the suburbs. And so that's what makes it work so well, is we only work with one person. So if you're interested and you want to learn more about this trial month, you don't even have to schedule a sales call. You don't have to email us. You don't have to call us. The very first step is just take 30 seconds. If you're interested in this trial month, just go to platformmarketmap.com and just tell us where your market is so we can tell you if your market is available, because we do only work with one agent per city. So the first step before we even schedule a sales call is we just want to find out, is your market available? So how we do that, go to platformmarketmap.com and we'll tell you if your market is available. So I'm going to show you this quick video of Angela here and the results she got in her first 60 days using Platform. But before I show you this video, I want to ask Danny a couple questions because she's on here. Like, again, normally we don't have guests on our webinars, but I figured, hey, we're in Austin. Let's have Danny on the webinar. Danny, what has happened in the last, I mean, you've been a client for 1.5 years now. What's happened in the last 1.5 years in your business since you hired Platform?
I would say my business has obviously, grown, almost tripled revenue. I've been able to hire another agent, hire a administrative person part-time. And one of the biggest things for me is like the consistency. So I was doing fine before, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, you were making $100,000.
Yeah, but I would make sometimes like 0 in 1 month, or skip a couple months. And so it wasn't very consistent. So the consistency is great. And then obviously the increase in business. And, it's kind of like a domino effect. Once you start rolling, like not even just the leads that I get from Platform, but the exposure that I get creates, more referral business too. So, my business has just completely changed. It's awesome.
Does Platform have contracts, Danny?
Not that I'm aware of. I never signed one.
Yeah, so that's that's another really cool thing about Platform is that we have no contracts whatsoever. So you're not locked in for 12 months. You're not locked in for 6 months. We don't even have a 90-day contract. There are just no contracts whatsoever. So to my knowledge, we're really the only real estate marketing company that does that. Pretty much every other company makes you sign at least a 6-month contract. I'm the founder and the CEO of Platform, and this is kind of just a point of personal pride for me that I've always thought, hey, if you're gonna start a marketing agency, if you're gonna start a marketing company, you shouldn't have to lock your customers into a contract. Because if what I'm telling you, Danny, is that, hey, Danny, I'm so confident that I can grow your business that you should pay me money every month, why should I have to lock you into a contract? Because if your business is gonna grow, you shouldn't have to be locked into a contract, right? Because you would never want to quit if your business is actually growing and you're making more money. So I'm very proud to say this. Platform has been running now for over 3 years, and we do not have contracts. We never will have contracts. So it's totally month to month. Our clients can cancel anytime. But Danny's here, and Danny's been a client for 18 months. Even though literally because we don't have contracts, you could have quit any month.
Right. But I'll never leave.
Yeah, good, right? So she's been a client for 18 months, but it's not like she signed up for 6 months and then she has to sign up for another 6 months, or we have no contracts whatsoever. So that's super cool because it actually works.
Well, and there's people waiting in my market for me to go away so they can
sign up. Most markets, because we only work with one person per market, as Danny mentioned, we have a waiting list. And so that's why it's so awesome. We only work with one person per market. It's insanely exclusive. If you've ever bought leads from Zillow or Realtor.com, or even if you've used a system like Curator or Boomtown Commissions Inc., they're not exclusive. In Austin, there might be 100 people using Boomtown or 100 people using Curator, right? But Danny is literally the only realtor in Austin that gets to use Platform because we're super exclusive. So we have no contracts. That is super cool. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, Danny, is tell the realtors listening right now, what does Platform all do for you? Because it's not just Facebook ads. What is the whole spectrum of what Platform kind of manages or handles for you?
Oh gosh. a lot. So I use the CRM to manage my platform leads in my existing database. We have weekly coaching calls. They give me ideas for content for my all the videos that I put on my Facebook. So they give me ideas for the content. All I have to do is go film it. They take it and they'll edit it. They add captions. It looks like really nice, professional. They set up all the ads in the retargeting. Like, I have no idea how to do that stuff. If I did actually before, I would try to like boost a post or like pay for it. And I never knew what it was doing because no one ever contacted me, and
it wasn't working. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I had no way to get the leads funneled. So they build the web pages and the landing pages to funnel the leads back to my platform CRM.
Yep, send the text messages, the emails,
Yeah,
all that.
text and emails.
And so really, I don't know if everyone caught that. Danny said, like, platform, like, we'll even edit all of your videos for you. So if you film video, we'll even edit the video for you. And so it's like having a full-blown marketing department at your disposal, because it's not just like we're setting up some Facebook ads for you. It's like, hey, cool, now I basically have like a video editor on staff. I have a Facebook ads expert on staff. I have a graphic designer that can touch up ads, like someone to set up websites. I mean, it's like having a full-blown marketing team. And I think for you...
Yeah. Well, and I don't have time to do all that.
Nor should you.
Or know how to.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be a top-producing realtor, be a top-producing realtor. Don't worry about Facebook ads and graphic design and video editing. Like, hire other people to do that. That's what CEOs do. CEOs at any other business, whether it's a Fortune 500 or a small business, the CEO isn't doing like the specific granular tasks. You're just leading the overall business. Platform allows you to do that. And I think the proof is in the numbers. Like you said,
yeah,
you were consistently, you'd kind of hit a plateau of about 100K a year. You were making about 100 grand a year. And now this year you'll make pretty much 300 grand. So it's tripled your business. In 18 months, you basically had a database of like 0 when you signed up.
Yeah.
What is your database now? How many total leads do you have in your CRM after 18 months of working with platform?
Around 5,000.
Yeah. So you have built a database of 5,000 people. That is actually worth a ton of money, because that means that every time you send out an email, if you get a 40% open rate when you send out an email, that means every time on a monthly basis when you send out your monthly newsletter email, you're getting 2,000 people opening it.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty crazy.
It creates referrals. Like, I mean, like, I know that one thing that's happened for you, Danny, is that rather than just getting a bunch of cold leads from Facebook, which does happen. I mean, obviously your business has grown from 100 to 300, so you're getting a bunch of new leads from Facebook, but you're also getting a lot more referrals.
Yeah.
Because people that maybe knew you, or it's like your friend's cousin or someone you knew from way back when, like you knew them, however, from church maybe, right? You've just found that I'm getting a lot more referrals now.
Yeah.
And it's because of a lot of that Facebook marketing the platform does for you. So that's really cool.
People tell me too, like when I see people socially out and about, they're like, hey, you're doing a lot of business. I love your marketing. I love your ideas. So even if you're not doing a lot of business, if you're filming these like videos and putting content out there, real estate content, like people will think you are, and people want to work with producing agents.
Like an expert.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, that's what I meant by domino effect.
Cool. So again, if you're interested, here's the next step. Like, you don't have to call Danny. You don't have to call me. You don't have to email anyone. You don't even have to schedule a sales call. All you have to do is go to platformmarketmap.com. And at platformmarketmap.com, it'll take you 20 seconds. Like, in the time I've been telling you how to do this, you already could have registered. So just go to platformmarketmap.com and just see if your market is available. Because as Danny mentioned, we only work with one realtor per market. And so the very first step, like before we would even schedule a sales call with you to tell you how platform works, if you're interested in that trial month, if you're interested in trying us, just go to platformmarketmap.com and just see if your market is available, right? So if we don't already have a client in your market, then we can enroll you in the trial month. So I know you're probably wondering, hey, how quickly does this actually start working? Because Danny's been with us for 18 months. You're probably thinking, hey, that sounds great, but I can't wait 18 months to get results, right? you know, Danny, obviously you got results way faster than that. So I'm not saying it takes 18 months, but a lot of people watching, like, hey, they can't even wait 3 months for it to start working. They need it to work in the very first month or else they can't do this. So I'm going to show you guys this video of Angela. And Angela will tell you all the results that actually she got within her first 60 days using a platform. And as you're watching this video, again, if you want to find out more, the first step is just go to platformmarketmap.com and just tell us where you are. Because if you go to platformmarketmap.com, register, that's the first step. We'll just tell you if your market is available. And if your market is available, then you can enroll in a trial month and check out Platform.
I just hit my 2-month mark with Platform and wanted to tell you guys a little bit about how that's gone for me. I've had over 450 leads funnel in over the last 2 months, and the last week has been absolutely insane for me. I've got 2 buyers that I'm actually working with right now. One is contract pending, and the second we're in contract negotiations with still, hoping to get them wrapped up by the end of this week. And I was able to get a seller, her 2 condos sold before I even got listing paperwork down on them, which is absolutely insane, and I'm super excited about. They're a fantastic company. I was really looking for a marketing tactic or tool or like map on how to market myself in an era when there's so many different people pulling at you know, our consumer from so many different angles, and I wanted to set myself apart, and Platform has been able to allow me to do that, and I owe a huge debt of gratitude to them. In the month of December, I'm looking at closing at about $11,000 in commissions, and I didn't have that on the books before I started with this company, so I want to.
So I want to pause that and show you that again in case you guys maybe weren't paying super close attention there. She says when she signed up less than 2 months ago, she didn't have any deals in her pipeline. So she was rolling into the winter. By the way, Angela's in like Idaho. So she's not going to close a bunch of deals in the winter if she didn't already have them lined up, right? So when she signed up for Platform just a couple months ago, actually less than 60 days ago, she didn't have any deals lined up for the winter. And already she's set to close now $11,000 worth of closings, worth of GCI in the month of December here that she did not have before. So Merry Christmas, Angela. That's nice that out of nowhere you've increased your income by $11,000 within your very first 60 days.
Consumer from so many different angles, and I wanted to set myself apart, and Platform has been able to allow me to do that, and I owe a huge debt of gratitude to them. In the month of December, I'm looking at closing at about $11,000 in commissions, and I didn't have that on the books before I started with this company, so I want to tell them thank you so much. It's been absolutely great. I can't wait to see what 2018 has in store for me. It's going to be an absolute rodeo. Of those 400 leads, I've had probably about 20 say that they're wanting to purchase house this coming spring, and I'm actively talking with all of them, and we're setting up home searches and kind of getting the ball rolling. I think it's crucial to kind of get going with your marketing in the winter months when it's slow, because people are looking to see what they're going to do for this next year during those time frames, just like what we are, you know, gearing up for what next year has in store. And I think it's a good idea to get out ahead of them early and do that with your business, and Platform has been able to help me do that, and I can't wait to see what this next year brings. I love that they're exclusive to one agent per market. That's the other thing, and there is such a huge network.
Again, we only work with one agent per market, so you never have to worry about, you know, your competition using Platform. That's what makes us so valuable, is that, you know, Angela knows as long as she's a client, we're never going to work with a competition. We only work with one agent per market.
I love that they're exclusive to one agent per market. That's the other thing. And there is such a huge network of other agents that are doing this exact same thing in different markets that are very similar to ours or mine. And it has been a great resource to help me kind of, you know, pave the way to make sure that I'm successful, and Platform too has made sure that I've got all the tools at my disposal to make sure that this is a success and I continue to see a great return on my money. Check them out. You won't be disappointed.
Awesome. So again, if you want more information, just check out platformmarketmap.com. That's the first step. Just go there. I mean, just register. Tell us where your city is, basically. So if you're in Louisville, Kentucky, just go to platformmarketmap.com and type in Louisville, Kentucky. If you're in Nashville, type in Nashville. If you're in Tucson, Arizona, right, go to platformmarketmap.com and just tell us that you're in Tucson, and we will let you know if your market is available. So that's the first step. Like, you actually don't even have to schedule a sales call or anything like that. Just go to www.platformmarketmap.com and we will let you know if your market is available. So again, Platform is a marketing agency. You're just hiring us to manage all of your marketing for you. So if you want to just have the peace of mind that every month you're going to generate 200 leads a month, 200 fresh exclusive leads with real names, real phone numbers, real email addresses, right? How about every month having 200 real people clicking your ads and signing up for more information? If you want to have that peace of mind in your business as we roll into 2018, it might be worth it to check out Platform. If you go to our website, our actual website is platformrealestate.com, you'll notice that we don't say anything about a trial month or a discount. Okay, so this is something that it's just for people that are on this webinar. It's not like a fake deal. Like, if you go to our website, you won't see anything there about a discount or any sort of trial month. So it's just our way of saying thank you, that if you joined us on this webinar, we will extend that trial month to you where you can try us actually for just $500. And so we have no contracts. You can try us for just $500. That's it. No contracts. You're not locked in for 6 months. You're not locked in for 90 days. I am so confident. Again, I'm the founder CEO. I'm not just some random sales guy or some random marketing guy. You guys are talking with Tim Shermack right now. That's me. I'm the founder and CEO of the company. So this is a matter, it's a matter of personal pride for me. We've built Platform in just the last 3.5 years, from it being just me to now we have 16 full-time salaried employees here in the United States. And in that time, we've always kept our promise. From when we had 1 employee to when now we're a much larger company, we have 16 full-time employees. We've kept our promise that we have no contracts. That's something we will never, ever change. I take a lot of personal pride in that, because as a marketing company, if we have no contracts, it means that we actually trust our system works. We know that our clients will get results, because if we're getting our clients results, we don't need to lock you into a contract. So I'm super proud of that we've accomplished that. And our clients love it too, because they're not locked into anything. There's just no contracts whatsoever. It's totally month to month. So if you want to try us for just $500, that's how confident I am that this works, that we're willing to give you that trial month, and we don't even have any contracts. So we're offering you a trial month and we don't have any contracts. Go to platformmarketmap.com. This is Danny Springfield. Danny's in San Antonio, and she's actually grown her business, and now she's working less and gets to spend more time with her family. So this little case study video, it's about 60 seconds long. This one gives a different angle. A lot of these case study videos I've shown you tonight talk about how much more money someone's making, how much more deals they're doing, or how much more GCI they're making. Danny has grown her business a ton, and that's great. But really, the real perspective that she shares here isn't necessarily that she's making more money. It's that her business has grown, and more importantly, she's actually spending less time on the business and more time with her family, because now she only has to spend time following up with warm leads, because Platform does all of her lead generation and her marketing for her. So for her, the practical benefit is that, yeah, it's cool. Her business has grown. That's great. But she's spending more time with her family.
Hi, I'm Danny Springfield in San Antonio. My Platform story starts, I've been in business and real estate for about 5 years. When I signed up, I was plateauing at about 13 to 15 million a year. I had another agent on board with me, but I knew that we could get a little bigger and do a little better. Most importantly, I wanted to do that in a scaled fashion. So signing up with Platform enabled me to build my business to about $20 million a year, but where I'm spending more time. I have 3 little kids where I'm spending more time with them. My husband actually left his engineering job to join my team, and that has been such a godsend for our family. Our quality of life has increased dramatically, and we owe a lot of that to Platform. The biggest change has been the quality of leads, so you're not spending all your time chasing ones that aren't very good, and maybe even most importantly for me has been that Platform, it gets me in front of my sphere for referral business so easily with very little effort on my part. So I'm a happy client. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm really just thankful to be part of the Platform family. Thanks.
Awesome. So again, if you're interested, if you want to grow your business and get to spend more time with your family, with your loved ones like Danny has, platformmarketmap.com. Just let us know if your market is available. Because if we don't already have a client in your market, we're going to extend you a trial month where you can check out Platform. So platformmarketmap.com, that's the first step. It literally will take you 20 seconds to go there and do that. I mean, 20 seconds. Platformmarketmap.com. Here's a video again. I showed you this video. This is Michelle. This I think is a 20-second video, but check out the results if you're wondering, yeah, this all sounds great, but how quickly does it actually start working? Because I can't do this for 90 days or I can't do this for 6 months. I need this to work the very first month. So if you're in that spot, if you're here and it's Tuesday, December 5th, it's December 5th and you're like, hey, I need leads to be pouring in this month. I can't wait until January, February. I need leads pouring in this month because I need to get some closings ASAP. Check out this testimonial. This video was sent to us in the last week. So literally, I got this video less than a week ago. Here are the results that Michelle Jones has created in her very first couple weeks. Not her first couple months, her very first couple weeks using the platform system. She's already got multiple buyers and multiple listings.
Hi, this is Michelle Jones from Tennessee. I joined the platform webinar. I signed up, and my results for the first 10 days are that the 2 new listings ads that I ran with Platform, I got both under contract in the same day. I also have 5 active buyers that I'm currently working with now, and I also have obtained 3 new listings.
I mean, that's incredible. Like, it's almost too good to be true. That's why I wanted to show you the video, because if I just told you that she had gotten multiple listings, multiple buyers in her first couple weeks, you probably wouldn't believe me. Like, you probably wouldn't believe me because it sounds so far-fetched. So it's cool that we have that video so that you actually believe me. So, by the way, this is Danny. This is the client that was just on us. That was just on the webinar with us. So this is a video that she filmed this week, giving a quick update. She's actually featured in our documentary, but this is a video that she filmed this week, just talking about the trial month. So if you're still not sure if you want to sign up on the trial month, watch this video. Watch Danny talk about the results that it's actually created for her. So again, platformmarketmap.com is the first step. If we don't already have a realtor we're working with in your market, so if your market is available, then we will send you more information about how the trial month works. So I'm honestly super excited for everyone watching this webinar, because especially since it's the month of December, getting this set up in December, you will roar into January 2018 with momentum. Most of our clients average 200 leads a month. So imagine that if you were to sign up and try this trial month, you could have 200 leads, 200 fresh leads by New Year's Day to kick off your 2018 with. Like, in between now and New Year's Eve, you could have 200 fresh leads in your business. So watch Danny talk about her opinion on whether or not you should try the trial month that we're offering you right now.
Danny, I am a realtor in Texas. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're interested in the platform trial month. I have to tell you, you would be crazy not to take them up on that. When I started with Platform about 18 months ago, I didn't get a trial or any kind of discount, but it has hands down been the best investment I ever made in my business. When I first started with them, I was doing about probably 100,000 in income, so about $4 million in GCI, or excuse me, in production. Now, today, after being there a little over a year and a half, I have doubled, almost quadrupled that, and will do about 275 in GCI this year. I actually hired my first buyer's agent. I also have a part-time administrative person. So it's just been a really good decision, and to be able to try it out for a discounted price is awesome, and I wish I would have gotten to do that. But, I still made an incredible return on that investment. So I definitely would highly recommend it.
Awesome. So again, Danny, when Danny signed up, Danny didn't get a discount. Like, she didn't get any sort of trial month. And she has grown her business from about 100K in GCI to 275K in GCI, right? And she didn't get any sort of discount. So you have an incredible opportunity in front of you right now to actually check out Platform during this trial month. Again, we don't have any contracts. We don't have any contracts. So this is not a situation where we're offering a trial month, but you first have to sign up for a 6-month contract, right? This is a trial month and there are no contracts whatsoever, okay? No contracts whatsoever, and we're extending a trial month to you. So here's another video of how quickly we get results for our clients. Because keep in mind, we don't have contracts. So we have to get our clients results really, really quickly or else they'll quit. So it perfectly aligns our incentives. That's the way I've always wanted to run this marketing company, is because we don't have contracts. It forces us to get you results right away. Because if we don't get you awesome results right away, in that very first month, you'll quit. And you should quit if you don't get results right away. And so it just perfectly aligns our incentive so that we do get you amazing results in your very first month and you become a client for life. So that's why we're willing to offer this trial month. So again, if you're interested, go to www.platformmarketmap.com and just let us know what city you're in. That's all we're asking there, is just tell us what market you're in. So www.platformmarketmap.com, and this could be you in 30 days.
Hey guys, Jeff Downing here. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. As you can see, the corn's growing right behind me, so I am definitely in Iowa. Just hit my 30-day anniversary with Platform, and I want to share with you some of my successes. First campaign, first night it's going, and I wake up, my phone's got a full contact lead. Name, number, address, and then down at the bottom, the most beautiful thing in the world, says, yeah, I'm looking to buy a house in the next 90 days. Able to get their home listed and get them upgraded in house. Both those houses went pending just last weekend, which is about $14,000 in GCI off my first day in my first month here in Platform. Also had a call, hey, love your video. We're looking to sell our house and upgrade. So just last night was on a listing appointment for $425,000. That's an at-bat I would not have had without Platform. I've also added literally hundreds of contacts into my drip campaigns and into my SOI. So that's been really, really cool. Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chat.
And so what he's talking about there is we actually have a one-on-one phone call with all of our clients every week. So it's not like a group coaching call. It's a one-on-one personal phone call with every one of our clients every week. So that's what Jeff is referring to there, is his personal coaching call with David. David's one of our account managers at Platform. He's awesome. And so again, there's not like a group webinar. There's not a group coaching call. Every one of our Platform clients, the reason they convert so many leads is because they're getting a one-on-one private coaching call with us every week as part of Platform.
Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the effectiveness of the ads, my ad spend, and he's also helped me with scripts, when to call back, what to say, email returns. Just get rejuvenated to start the week after talking with David every Monday. So that's been my experience with Platform. If you want to know more, please look me up.
Awesome. So again, platformmarketmap.com. This is one of the last videos I'm going to show you guys tonight. This is Justin, and it's so cool what he says. Justin is in like West Virginia, and so you'll notice we have clients in big cities, small towns, suburbs, and everything in between, right? Justin's on the border of Maryland and West Virginia, and Justin says here in this video that hiring Platform and trying us out, you know, and he tried us out and he ended up becoming like a lifetime client. It was the best business decision he ever made. And so Justin isn't just getting, you know, $200,000 buyers or $300,000 buyers. Justin is literally getting buyers and sellers from his Platform marketing campaigns that are over $1 million. So he's getting like $1 million, $1.2 million sellers from his Facebook marketing campaigns that Platform has set up for him. So in his own words, it's just really a point of pride for me as the CEO of Platform that we have someone like here, Justin, who says this is the best business decision he's ever made, is giving this a try.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Liller with Rayleigh Realty at Deep Creek Lake, and I want to share my experience so far since joining Platform. Back in January, I flew down and met with Tim, and he showed me kind of the basics of Platform, which I implemented right away and saw some pretty good success with. So at the end of May, I became a full Platform family member. So it's been a little more than 30 days, maybe 40 days since I joined Platform, and I've seen some really incredible success. I'm picking up between 4 and 6 full contact information leads per day off of the ads that I run on Facebook. I can directly relate 3 listings back to my Platform ads that I've been running. They range anywhere from $150,000 to $800,000. I have had 2 closings from that, $175,000 closing and another at $850,000. And then I have a property under contract with some folks that opted into one of my ads at $1,550,000. So, you know, it's an incredible, incredible value that they offer at Platform. The return on investment is going to be absolutely huge. And I could not recommend joining Platform anymore. Like it has been by far the best business decision that I have ever made. So I've been implementing the Platform strategy since January, but only been a full Platform member since the end of May. And as of last Friday, I had 2 closings last Friday. As of last Friday, for 2017, I've already exceeded my GCI that I had in 2016. So I have no doubt that this is going to become my best year ever.
And so here's a quick update. Justin actually filmed this video for us in July. And so this testimonial video you're watching here, you know, is already like 6 months old. However, Justin texted me last week and he let me know that his best year ever before he hired Platform was about $7 million in sales volume. This year, he already has closed $12 million of sales volume. So in his first year hiring Platform, even though he only started working with us in like May, in his first year hiring Platform, I mean, really in half a year of hiring Platform, Justin has added an extra $5 million in sales volume. So it's not just his best year ever, it's his best year ever by $5 million. So he has blown away what his previous sales record was. You know, he's basically added an extra $150,000 of income to his family after he hired Platform to take over his marketing for him. So it's completely changed him and his family's quality of life.
And I think that, you know, if you follow the strategies that they talk about, it could be anybody's best year ever. You've got to film the videos, you've got to do the follow-up, and the buyers and listings will come. You know, it's been incredible. Over the holiday weekend, I had 5 people walk up to me and say, "Hey, you're that guy from the Facebook ads, the videos. I watch all your home tours. I love it." And, you know, it's that kind of stuff that maybe doesn't show up in your GCI right away, but over time it will, because people are going to, you know, when they're ready to buy, they're only going to think of you because you've built that trust and you've given them something to watch while they're bored at work or sitting at home, and they absolutely love it. So anyway, I can't thank Platform enough. I couldn't be happier. And if you're on the fence about this, just do it. You're not going to regret it. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, I want to show you one more quick video here. This is Justin Stewart, and he has more than doubled his business. When he joined Platform, he was making about $75K a year in GCI, and now this year he's going to do about $200K in GCI. So he's grown his business from making 75 grand to making 200 grand this year in the very first year that he's been in Platform. So here's his story. He filmed a quick like 60-second video sharing his success with Platform. And what's cool is that before this, Justin was actually a firefighter. So he's gone from being a firefighter to being a realtor now who's going to make 200 grand this year.
Hey, it's Justin Stewart. I'm a realtor in Texas, and here's how I've doubled my business in 2017. About a year ago, I hired a company called Platform. Platform is a digital marketing agency that specifically focuses on Facebook advertising. Now, when I originally found Platform, I had no idea what real Facebook advertising was all about. I had no idea what A/B testing was and CPM and all those other terms, but I did know what GCI was, and I knew that the results that the platform, nothing short of amazing, and something that I had to know more about. So I spoke to Tim, spoke to some of the other platform clients, and after doing so, I realized that this was something that I had to be part of. So I joined up with them, and my results have been nothing short of amazing as well, and I'm incredibly thankful for Platform, what they've done for me, what they've done for my family and my business. And to give you a little peek into what my experience has been thus far, next month I actually have almost $40,000 in gross commission income set to close from Platform alone.
That's awesome. So in 1 month, Justin made over $40,000 from Platform closings. The last video I want to show you guys, for those of you that are still still with us, is
hey guys,
a video of Debbie Kaler. And Debbie was one of the very first ever clients Platform worked with. And this is like a rags to riches story. So this is one of my favorite videos to show people, because Debbie wasn't making $100,000 when she signed up for Platform. She wasn't making $200,000. She was literally broke. She was making no money as a real estate agent, and Platform helped her go from rags to riches. I know it sounds cheesy. But when Debbie signed up, the very first house that Platform created a marketing campaign for her, the very first Facebook campaign that we set up for her, was her own house, because the bank was about to take her house because she was behind on her mortgage payments. And so the very first house that Debbie ever promoted was actually her own house, because the bank was about to take it. So when I say that she was broke, I mean it. She wasn't just struggling. She was literally about to lose her house to foreclosure. And so that's when she decided to, actually cash out her retirement, give what money she had left to Platform. And I just took that very seriously. If someone's willing to invest that money and risk that money, I made it my personal life mission that I would make Debbie's marketing successful, because I wanted her to, be such an example and such a case study for Platform that we could use her story forever. And that's exactly what happened. So we grew Debbie's business from her being broke to her now being one of the top realtors at her entire brokerage in the entire state of Minnesota. So here's Debbie's story, talking about how she went from rags to riches using the Platform system. And she even shows off the brand new car and the brand new vacation lake house she bought, because her business is growing so much that she could afford to buy those things. So she went from almost literally being homeless to now having multiple houses and a brand new car, because Platform grew her business that much. So this video is actually very personally meaningful to me, just as the CEO of the company, because it just shows how it shows how powerful the Platform marketing strategy really can be, and that it's not just going to get you some extra leads. I know it sounds cheesy, but it could seriously change your life.
Okay, so I love this car. I've always wanted a Jeep Rubicon, always. Never thought I'd be able to get one, especially that I could just write out a check for, actually. But I was in Platform for about 6 months when my other car actually blew up, and I just kind of thought, what am I doing? I can afford what I want. So drove onto the lot with that wreck and drove off with this Rubicon with only 6 miles on it, which was a fantastic day.
And so I want you to meet Debbie Kaler. The Platform strategy literally rescued her career. After the housing market crashed, she was struggling to make a living. Now she's driving a brand new car, bought a new lake home, and business is better than ever. Her story is just incredible. So we'll let her share the details. This is the power of the Platform strategy.
Hi, I'm Debbie Kaler. I'm a realtor in a very small town in west central Minnesota. Population just a little over 2,000. So it's a tough market. We have a lot of agents around here. In fact, I would say we are saturated, because everybody for some reason thinks that real estate is the fast, easy money, easiest thing you can get into. So I got into real estate in 1990 and always did pretty well, probably in the top 10, 15, and then the market crashed. And being a single person, that was tough. I ended up losing my house, my car, pawned all my jewelry. I literally had nothing left other than the clothes on my back.
So, as I said, Debbie's story is one of the coolest platform stories I've ever heard. After 20 years in the business, things were so slow, she was about to quit real estate entirely and find a new career. She was applying for jobs around the country, just trying to find something to pay the bills. And then she discovered Platform.
So thinking this is it, I have to get out of real estate permanently, even though I loved it. They found out my story and they said, you know, we have this young guy that does marketing for us, you should give him a try. So I was desperate and I decided, all right, I'm going to meet him. It turns out his name is Tim Schermack. And he came over and talked to me and started telling me about Platform, and I thought, this is entirely too good to be true. There's no way anything is that good that's going to take me from about being homeless, literally homeless, to actually being able to stay in this business and make it. But humor me, I'll listen to him. So I meet him. He gave me the good sales pitch. Out of frustration, I hired him. And only because that day in the mail, the very last check had come from my retirement account. Very last check. And I knew it wasn't going to carry me through anyway, so what's the big deal? I might as well gamble. I threw it at him and said, all right, big talker, you think you can do this? Do it. I bet it was 3 weeks later, leads started to come in like crazy, and they started rolling in. I'm not kidding. And pretty soon I didn't have time for that other job I took. I was back into real estate. And here we are 2.5 years later. And I went from number 47 in my association up to number 2.
So Debbie went from having no money, literally losing her home, to being the number 2 agent in her entire association. I love this story. It's such an authentic example of the power of Platform. The entire community noticed how quickly Debbie built her brand. Remember, building your business is as simple as building a list of people who trust you. Not just a database, but a list of people who trust you.
So one of the fun things with Platform was I had so many friends say, you know, when the market crashed, we thought you were done. That was it. We thought your business was going under, that you were done, no more, Debbie. And it's like you came back with a vengeance. All of a sudden we see videos all over the place and your signs are going up all over the place. And now you're really showing other people how it's done. I actually had a couple of my competing agencies come and try to recruit me with their company. To which it's like, no, I turned them down. I mean, they're like, don't you want to work for, and then they'd say their name because they're bigger names in the area. I don't have a big name. You know, Lakes Area Realty, Debbie Kaler Real Estate. You know, I don't have the big banners, the big balloons, anything like that. And it's like, you know what? I don't need you. I'm doing fine on my own. They didn't like that very well, but I've pretty much buried most of them, which is a great feeling. And it's all because of Platform. I went from, said, bottom of the barrel, thinking that I was going under, to a place I never thought I would be. And it's because of the marketing. And that happened rather quickly. Actually, I would say within 3 months, people started to make comments about, wow, you came back strong. And by 6 months, it was, wow.
Amazing. So let's take a behind-the-scenes look at Debbie's office and get a feel for what her daily routine looks like when the leads are flowing in.
So I just want to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what Platform has done for me. Just in this last week, I've gotten 3 pages of leads. The ones that are crossed off are the ones that I've actually come in contact with, I've had phone conversations with, or even met them for coffee. I've got 2 listing appointments out of it so far, and for sure 1 buyer, probably 2, maybe even 3. So it's been great that way. It keeps me busy. It keeps me in contact with people. But I really want to show you personally what it's done for me. So my dream car was always a Jeep Rubicon. And after working with Platform for, I don't know, about 6 months, I was finally able to get one. Brand new, right off the lot. And it only had 6 miles on it. So it was glorious. Working with Platform and really working the program. If you work it,
it works. So if you've been in it and say that it doesn't work, it's only because you're not doing anything with it. I have proof, because what I'm going to show you is the property I was able to buy, and it may not be huge, but it is on a premier lake. It's on Green Lake, which used to be the second purest lake in the world. It's completely renovated. I can't wait to show it to you. So, you know, we're going to go there right now and take a look.
You know, I'm reminded of that classic quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have whatever you want in life if you'll just help other people get what they want. This is the very essence of the platform strategy. Just serve people. Before you ever ask for anything, provide value. Be the most helpful real estate agent in your market. As you'll see, it worked for Debbie, and it can work for you too.
I paid plenty for it just because it is where it is. But it is a Frank Lloyd Wright house, which does mean something, so I wanted to keep his design. And that's another reason I renovated what was there instead of tearing it down. It is a $500,000 house in a community where everything, the average price is $150,000. So it's an accomplishment. I never thought I would be able to do that. So we're almost at my humble cottage. So not only was I able to buy this new car, but Platform also allowed me to buy my new lake home. So this is the lake home that I bought, and I was able to renovate the whole thing. What we're standing in was actually just a skirting porch. Going into the kitchen, I was able to put in all new countertops, new flooring, all new appliances, took out some walls, added some windows, opened up the living room. This was a couple tiny rooms before. But what I love about this place is this epic view of Green Lake, and thanks to Platform, I get to enjoy it every day.
All right, so I'm here now again with Danny. Again, Danny is a realtor working at Platform. Danny's in Austin, Texas. Danny, as we wrap up this webinar, what would you say to any realtors that are still watching right now and they're curious and they're wondering, hey, how does Platform work? Or maybe more accurately, they're wondering, does Platform work, right? Like, what would you say to someone who's sitting here and they're thinking of going to platformmarketmap.com, they're thinking of going to our website, you know, they're thinking of like finding out more, they're curious, does this actually work, right? What would you tell someone who's thinking about maybe signing up for that trial month that we're offering?
I would tell you to do it. Like I did, it was a risk for me too, but I believed in my business and believed in myself enough to invest in my growth. And, you know, it's hard to grow that fast organically. So I looked at a bunch of different things, but this is the one that resonated with me the most. And I just had it like that instinct about it. And I'm glad that I followed that because it's been really successful for me.
Yeah, I mean, again, like the numbers are the numbers. You've gone from 100,000 in GCI to like 275K.
Yeah.
In GCI. I mean, like,
it's not like a magic pill. Like you still, you know, you'll get a ton of leads, but you have to
follow up
with the leads. And
yep.
But it makes it a lot easier when the leads are, we call them warm leads, or we call it warm calling when we call them, because people are actually like nice to you and want to talk to you. So it's different in my experience from just like getting random leads and cold calling, because of the way that the marketing is set up. They kind of like feel like they already know you when you get on the phone. So it just makes it like a lot easier. But like I said, you still have to be dedicated to following the system and growing your business.
Yeah, you have to do the work. I mean, you have to follow up with the leads. So cool. Well, Danny, thank you for joining us on the webinar. Like I said, normally we don't have guests, but I figured, hey, I'm in Austin. Let's have Danny on the webinar and you can join us. So thank you guys for investing your time to be on the webinar. Again, the next step, you don't even have to schedule a sales call with us or anything like that. The next step, if you're interested in checking us out on that trial month, is just go to platformmarketmap.com and let us know what city you're in. You know, are you in Wichita, Kansas? Are you in Salt Lake City? Are you in Madison, Wisconsin? Whatever. Just go to platformmarketmap.com, tell us where your city is, and then we'll let you know if your market is available. So thanks, guys, for joining us. And I'll have Mitch send you some emails with some more information about the specifics of platform. So, all right, thanks, guys.